Moving on, great article from Search Engine Land entitled The SEO-GEO Gap, How AI Search Differs from Organic Traffic. So the article states there's 3 key findings from the data set that it looked at. Traditional SEO content strategies aren't best for GEO or AI search. Organic success doesn't guarantee LLM traffic. And service product pages punch above their weight class for LLM traffic. So I thought it was great. And so it goes into, it gets into some technical aspects where it kind of looks at load time of websites, time spent on sites, depending on the type of page. Great article at Search Engine Land. Now, I think the thing that, and we often talk about this when we have our events, when we speak to folks in small businesses and mid-sized companies and C-suite business folks and marketers as well, that they sometimes, even though we know now Google has classified generative engine optimization or AI search or AI SEO is just SEO, they're 2 different schools of thought. Like, you do need a good SEO presence, but it doesn't guarantee. So this article is 100% true that if you have an SEO presence, it doesn't automatically guarantee. And, when we talk about content, there are, like long form content has always traditionally worked for SEO well, but with AI search content tends to be a little bit more structured, a little bit more shorter, maybe, getting into some answering questions, right? So, kind of micro content tends to work a little bit better from time to time. So yeah, it really is a great article, but I think there's one key point that I want to get both of your thoughts on this is, and I keep saying this over and over and over in so many different places because it's true. Search engines are algorithmic in nature. Right? They're algorithms. Google has an algorithm that has hundreds of on-page and off-site factors, none of us, which we know what some of the best practices are traditionally through webmaster guidelines over the year and currently, but we don't know all the variables. And the same thing with the LLMs and AI search. It's, they are learning mechanisms. They're not algorithmic. They're not an algorithm. They're learning. Right? And so it learns and changes and evolves at a user level based on the location, based on whether you're logged in or out, based on whether it's a paid account, based on the history of that. And it changes. So it's a completely different ballgame. So I think that marketers and brands and companies need to understand that first, that they're different, that how they work are different. That's why the technical aspects are different. That's why the fundamentals of you don't do keyword research for GEO. Even prompt research, I think, is okay. I don't put a lot of stock in it, right? And so, the point is, they're different. Now you talk about links for Google, right, traditionally, and we talk about citations for AI SEO. They're both marketing. That's the approach we've always endorsed, is you want to grow both organically, naturally, through your marketing, your business. So anyway, this is a great article at Search Engine Land. Highly recommend everyone read it, check it out. So Catherine and John, what do you both think on this one?
I think that the gap is a lot smaller than we might realize between the type of content, for example, that does well for SEO versus GEO. It says data from 10 websites shows why original research tools answer first content outperforms generic educational articles. Well, look at that sentence. It's kind of always been this way.
Right.
A piece of content that had a very focused point, an article, always was going to perform a bit better in SEO. That's not changed because the educational articles have a place in a content marketing strategy, but the place is it just serves a different purpose. So before you can say outperforms, you have to figure out what is the outcome that you need the content to perform for.
Right.
Because if the outcome is to introduce a topic and bring awareness, I would honestly vote for the educational article. If the outcome, if the performance is to get it to achieve a purpose like a call to action or generate a lead or something, answer first content is going to work. But just because it's answer first doesn't mean it has to be a question in the title.
Right.
it just needs to be about a focused topic. That type of content has always done well for SEO and for reading a magazine live. It's tale as old as time. That's the type of content that people find a lot of value in.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to define your purpose and then reverse engineer the best way to achieve that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So without really seeing it, I'm honestly not surprised. And I feel like the SEO and GEO types of content a lot's similar.
Right.
It's
right.
not. It's all the same because you have to just think about your audience and what they want from it.
And exactly. And the reality is, like, we help our clients, and we do it all in tandem. You know, modern SEO, AI SEO, generative engine optimization, answer engine optimization together with content marketing, with the content, and it all interacts and feeds each other. The reality and citations, it's going to help both. Your driving citations, it will help both if you market your business properly. So, John, what are your thoughts on this one? We have one more for today.
Yeah. One of the key findings it says is that traditional SEO content strategies aren't the best for GEO. And I feel like we find that maybe the way it's structured isn't the best for GEO, but a lot of the content that you have can be restructured to be better for GEO. Like, for example, having, key points at the top of your articles, for example, is a great one for GEO. So it's not that everything that you've been doing is useless. It's just that it can be reworked to be better.
Totally.